Hello, everyone. Welcome to the April 24th edition of Amateur Hour. It's me, Leo Saylor, joined as always by your favorite brown guy, Safwan Avi, as well as Ryan Poley, who apparently is somehow related to a guy in FIFA. I don't know. Talk about that, Ryan.
So my third cousin, his name is Andrea Poli, and he played for AC Milan with Zlatan Ibrahimovic, the god who now plays for LA Galaxy. But he now plays on FC Bologna in Italy, which is near Milan. So anybody who travels to Italy, you can beat my third cousin, Spread some love.
So is he how good?
He's a 78 overall, which is about average for an Italian midfielder.
It's about a rare card, rare gold.
Yeah.
About at the super rare, but not. He's almost there.
Oh, we're talking Pokemon? Did you guys get that Charizard?
No, I play Yu-Gi-Oh! I don't play Pokemon.
Oh, okay. All right,
I played them both when I was 7.
The only one I ever played was Beyblade.
Those things you would rip and they would just spin around and battle each other?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it was first top to stop spinning loses. Last man standing wins. And it was very visually interactive rather than
people
cards.
Used to get those really big ones and buy them for $100 and just rip them and tear everyone to shreds. I spent the most so I could win and get myself confidence up. You guys stink.
Yeah, sounds like what's that one team that plays in Chicago the Chicago Cubs. That's what that sounds like. Yeah, great.
We have a ring. I'm not going to worry about it.
Okay, you have a ring. Congratulations. How many do the Reds have? 5, 6?
Count them up.
We have more rings in our franchise history than you guys have wins this year, so don't even talk about it.
We can scratch out 1902 because of the whole Chicago Black Sox thing or whatever.
That was 1908.
1908. Our viewers get the gist. I'm not the best with dates. I proved that earlier. I said May 24th at the outset of our pod about, 3 or 4 times?
We had 2 outtakes before, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And fortunately, eventually we got it right, but it was certainly a process in order to get us to this point. So now that we are at this point, we're going to jump right in. What do you guys want to touch on first?
We got a lot of things to talk about today. Just a quick list. We're going to do a quick round of the NBA playoffs. Quick pre-mock draft. Draft is on Thursday. We got the Reds firing their manager, and we got some Champions League soccer. So we got a loaded slate for us today.
Also, I think in big news, the Reds have won a game since our last podcast about 2 weeks ago.
They actually just won yesterday.
Wow, so how about that? 2 games since 2 weeks ago in our last pod.
This is officially their worst start in franchise history.
Yeah, for sure.
Since about 1907.
Yeah.
And this isn't just some team, that's recently evolved. This is the oldest team in Major League Baseball history, and this is the worst start we've ever had, just to put it into context. We'll touch on that later. First, we want to talk about the NBA playoffs. It's been a wild ride to this point.
Yeah. I think the most surprising thing we've seen is the Pelicans rolling through.
Without DeMarcus Cousins, just rolling
through the Trailblazers on the backcourt of Damian Lillard and C.J. McCollum. I mean, this
there were
series
no
wasn't
shows
close.
the entire series.
They had no answer for Anthony Davis. Drew Holiday played out of his mind.
Played great defense.
Him and Anthony Davis dropped 40 points in Game 4. That's the first time that's happened in 50-plus years. Mm-hmm. And then we got Rajon Rondo going playoff Rondo.
I knew he had potential. I knew he had that inner finals Celtics Rondo in him, and it was about time he brought it out in the playoffs this year.
So that series was really quick. Other than that, we have a lot of good series.
A lot of 2-2s.
The Cavs Pacers is 2-2. The Bucks Celtics is 2-2. Wizards Raptors 2-2. We have 2 quick games by the Raptors, by the Pacers that came out quick. But then all these teams keep coming back. It seems like there could be all of these series that are left could be 6-7 games other than the Rockets and Timberwolves. The Rockets just dominated Timberwolves yesterday. That series looks like it's over. The Warriors Spurs, we all know that series is over. But these Eastern Conference series,
I just hate watching Lance Stevenson play basketball. It's the most unorthodox. It's like watching Hunter Pence swing a baseball bat. It's like
watching Hunter Pence do anything.
Yeah.
He's the one guy I feel like in the NBA who is just not afraid of LeBron James. He knows LeBron is way better than him, but he doesn't fear him.
Yeah.
He'll blow on his face. He'll touch his ear.
He will tackle somebody and call for a jump ball twice.
He's a more dramatic version of Draymond that's less good at basketball.
Yeah.
Wow.
It actually describes Lance perfectly.
He's a goon.
He gets on LeBron's nerves, and it eventually pushes LeBron's button, and LeBron sometimes doesn't handle it well, which is good. You have to find some way to get an advantage of LeBron.
Lance even said LeBron doesn't talk trash during games, when Lance is in his ear, blowing in his ear or whatever. He said one time LeBron looked at him and said, "What is wrong with you?"
Yeah.
That's just part of the game with Lance.
And that's the way with LeBron. Everybody just fears LeBron. Even the people that talk trash, they kind of go back.
I've never met LeBron. I'm scared of him.
And nobody stands up to LeBron. Lance Stevens is the only one who get up in his face, actually play defense on LeBron, go for jump balls against LeBron. So I respect that about Lance Stevenson.
Leo, any thoughts on that?
I have not been that well versed in the NBA playoffs. I've been a bit distracted. We can get into that later. But
The Celtics have been extremely impressive. Without Gordon Hayward or Kyrie Irving, their two best players, still putting up a really good fight against the Bucks. The Celtics are a team. They are going to be the team of the East other than the 76ers. Those two teams are the it teams. Not in just the East, the NBA.
which is really
Next
interesting
year.
because just looking just a couple years into our past, we're saying the Sixers have been a laughing stock for so long.
how about
Yeah,
the
now
Celtics?
they're a dark horse.
Exactly.
process.
And now you look at them and you say, okay, well,
This looks
you
like a
know,
finals
Simmons, Fultz,
I could
you know,
easily
Embiid,
see-
these pieces are huge, you know, and they're not just these guys who are helping them now.
Yeah.
These are guys who are going to help them long term going forward, and they're key
Yeah.
pieces to not just their team but any team. They're legitimate stars in this league.
Oh, Ben Simmons is going to win Rookie of the Year, hands down.
Yeah.
Like, sorry, Donovan.
And the guy can't shoot. He's winning
Yeah.
Rookie of the Year and he
Yeah,
can't shoot
that's
the
the
ball.
scary
outside
thing
of the free
about
throw
Ben
line, he
Simmons.
can't shoot, and he's still putting up triple-double numbers.
Exactly.
It's incredible. It really
And
is.
This is not even a hot take anymore. This year, a lot of people think the 76ers can get out of the East.
They
Because
could possibly, because this is LeBron's like weakest playoff year in
the
a long time.
Cavs play no defense, and they're still not
Exactly,
playing
yeah.
any defense right now.
Yeah.
So
and
nobody...
Even their offense, like towards the end of the game, they were running that off-screen pick and roll for Kyle Korver, and it was just ISO LeBron all game. The entire fourth quarter was
The
like
Cavs are extremely vulnerable this year. They're going to struggle to get out of the first round. It's 2-2.
and a team like the Sixers, if the Cavs were to get that far, a team like the Sixers will definitely
They have
exploit
nobody that can stop Joel Embiid. Joel Embiid will drop as many points on the Cavs.
Who does,
as he
though?
wants. I mean, you got guys like Rudy Gobert. You know, Draymond Green can give him fits with his
the
physicality.
long semi-physical guys.
Yeah, you know, like a Karl
Lance
Anthony
Stevenson.
Towns.
Lance
Yeah.
Stevenson,
I mean, the
that's right.
Cavaliers have no answer for Joel Embiid. Not even
Yeah.
a problem for Joel Embiid.
Yeah.
So that would be a really intense series. I do think the Cavs get out of the first round. I think
Struggle in the second, maybe get to the finals.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I think the Cavs are going to struggle extremely to get the finals. I do think they'll get there because I just have blind faith in LeBron James.
I mean, when you have the best player in the world, it's just kind of hard to knock out any team like
Because
that.
this team really is not that good. But I have faith in LeBron James to get to the finals.
They're just an ISO team. They'd be the best street ball team in the world.
Even
Does that count
man.
for much? I don't think so.
Yeah, but say they don't play any defense. Yeah, that team wouldn't be good because they don't cover
I
anybody.
mean, in Ice Cube's 3-on-3 league, they'd be great.
Yeah. Well, they're doing something big now, aren't they? The Big Three League didn't they just announce something big? TV contract, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that'll be interesting.
And they
to
signed
watch.
Jordan Crawford, Xavier boy.
Yeah, that's right. I did see that. I did see that as well. So
So yeah,
that-
the
that'll be
NBA
fun to
playoffs
watch.
are in full bloom, and hopefully we see some more good series. So
You
now we're
met
gonna
a Xavier boy.
Oh,
Do what?
You met a Xavier boy.
I met JP McCura this
Oh,
weekend.
Yeah,
Oh
how
my
was that?
gosh.
How was that?
So I was in Over the Rhine hanging with some friends and enjoying some late night festivities. And I was walking down the street and walked into a late night entertainment place. Not to name places. But I walk in and the first person I see when I order a beverage is JP McCura.
Water, right?
Yes, of course, a water. Just
Or
through-
milk. Skim, 2%?
2%.
Okay.
Come on, 2%.
Same as our producer over here.
Yeah. Ryan's in the building, but he doesn't want to talk today. He's got strep.
Not today.
So, yeah, the first person I see is this 6'7", lanky Wilt Chamberlain looking dude. I've never met a guy that's over like 6'5", like that's even a colleague of mine. I look up and I see JP's big head with like just a cap on. I'm like, is that JP McCura? He goes, hey bud. I didn't know what to say. I was like, can I get a picture? He goes, nah bro, no paparazzi. Like, I'm just a college kid. Nah bro. So he was
You did get a picture.
I did not know.
Oh, that's right. It was a picture of you. Said I just met
Yeah, it was
JP
on my story,
McCura.
yeah.
Right. And then how did this happen that Nate Clark wound up with a picture with JP? How did that happen?
Because Nate showed up like 5 minutes after me, like after I left, and when he showed up, he was all like, "Oh, you're a Xavier fan. I've seen you in games before." Like, are you kidding me? Because Nate goes to like all the games.
Yeah, he does. So
I was pissed.
you
I was
should have
honestly mad.
told him that's why you guys were so disappointing this year. You guys had your best team in probably program history, and you guys barely made it to the second round.
I wasn't gonna talk beef with him at the bar, you know.
well, you didn't deserve the picture. You're a quote unquote Duke fan.
I am a quote unquote Duke
Oh,
fan.
You're a
Grayson
Duke fan
Allen
since
is
you
better
went to
than
the
JP.
Final Four.
So when I was like 8.
You are a fan of the Duke Blue Devils ever since you went to one of their games when they were in the Final Four. You are a bandwagon fan. You are a Cubs fan. Those two things are synonyms.
We're not gonna have this discussion. This gonna take a long time to argue with.
Oh,
about that.
okay. All right.
Ron's
we
gonna
won't
be
have
real
this
rattled
discussion.
when all
He's
the
rattled.
3 top recruits don't even win a championship next year. How mad are you gonna be?
If they don't, I'll be disappointed. to say
This
the
just
least.
in: Zion Williamson out with an ACL. Oh boy.
There goes the year.
So now at big news in baseball, the Reds fired manager Brian Price after their worst start in franchise history. The Reds were 3-15, showing no hope, showing no promise, losing every single game they played really badly.
Almost every game. They
Really
won one last week.
Embarrassingly, and they finally cut ties with Brian Price, and now Jim Riggleman is the manager. Who do we think should be the replacement for Brian Price?
Everyone's calling Barry Larkin.
Everyone
right
is
now.
calling for Barry Larkin, Joe Girardi, and John Farrell. Those 3 are the names that have been swirling around the Reds.
Yeah.
Personally, I have to say Barry Larkin. I guess with Cincinnati bias, he was the top 3, top 5 shortstop of all time. Arguably the best player in the Reds' history. This isn't even about wins and losses anymore. Who can win you games? Cincinnati needs a spark. They need somebody who's gonna
He's a Cincinnati
lift the
guy
city
too.
up.
He's not just a former Reds
He's
player.
a Cincinnati guy.
He
thick and
never
thin.
played for anyone but the Reds.
He went to Moeller High School.
He went to Moeller High School.
He just bleeds Cincinnati.
His son played basketball at Xavier.
This isn't even about wins and losses. The Cincinnati needs a spark. The organization, the players, they need something more than just wins and losses.
They need a pitching coach.
Yeah.
Staff.
They need
a pitching staff first.
They need a whole bunch of stuff. But I think Barry Larkin can really bring a spark. He knows the game. He was a shortstop, one of the best players of all time at any position. You know, I feel like Barry Larkin can really help the Reds take the next step. I feel like players will play harder for Barry Larkin.
Yeah, for a guy they respect as one of their colleagues almost.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Barry
Yeah.
Larkin can really do things that Joe Girardi and John Farrell can't because of Cincinnati ties.
As
That's
well
something
as
they don't have.
Those 2 guys, not so much John Farrell, but Joe Girardi especially, they're guys who are used to winning, right? And so you wonder how they react to a
guys
situation.
like that don't want to take over a losing ball club and
Right,
build it from
they're
the
not
ground
looking
up.
to turn a
They don't
team
want to
around.
do the dirty work and everything that makes the team good. Like they want to be on teams like the Yankees that can just buy players and be good instantly.
And that's not the Reds' game
Girardi.
plan.
Yeah, Joe Girardi has always been known as the guy who wears his players out. Kind of compared to Tom Thibodeau in the NBA. He's really hard. He's really intense. And in a young ball club, I don't know how good that would be.
No.
I don't think those players follow intensity.
You don't want to ruffle
As
any
well.
feathers before getting to know the guys.
He's not really into the young players. That's the problem. A lot of the young Yankees players apparently didn't grasp a hold of Joe Girardi. The Reds are full of young players.
Right.
So somebody that could help develop, teach the young guys, that's who the Reds need to hire. And I feel like that would be Barry Larkin.
Especially when you got these quote-unquote prodigies, Nick Senzel and Hunter Green coming up. I feel like, as we talked about, Barry Larkin would be another motivating factor for those guys to reach their
And
potential.
apparently Barry Larkin has been on Nick Senzel. He's been working with him personally.
Yeah, throughout the winter.
And that should
I
make
heard
any
as well.
Reds fan happy.
Yeah, it
'Cause
should.
there's not many people you would want to learn from
So-
other than Barry Larkin.
I think Riggleman finishes out the year. People forget Riggleman was the manager of the Nationals
Of the
for many
Nationals,
years.
yeah.
And the team was really good, and he wasn't fired or anything. He resigned, and it was very abrupt. In the middle of the year, people were really puzzled by it because the Nationals were winning games and they were playing really great. Pretty quickly, he caught on with the Louisville Bats, the Reds AAA affiliate, and even quicker after that, he wound up as the, bench coach of the Reds?
Yeah.
And now he's the interim manager, so I think he'll finish out the season with them. I don't think you bring in a guy like Barry Larkin or any of the other guys we discussed in the middle of the season.
Yeah.
You want them to start anew in spring
Have an
training.
off-season.
Exactly, I totally agree. So I think that's their game plan and their solution. Again, we don't know that it's going to be Barry Larkin. Certainly, in my opinion, that's who I'm hoping for. I think he's the best fit for the Reds and their team going forward.
And I personally want to point out, I don't think Brian Price was the full 100% problem, but he was a part of the problem. The team
agree.
wasn't rallying around him. They weren't playing hard for Brian Price. I think his decision-making, it has been really bad throughout these past, 3 years that he's been manager. He has been a big part of the problem. He's not 100%, but the Reds definitely need a new face.
I saw a
of
fun
as
fact
manager.
the other day. Brian Price's most wins in a season for the Reds is still less than Dusty Baker's least amount of wins in a season.
Dusty Baker
Wow.
is a very good manager.
Yeah.
But the Reds were losing in the playoffs consistently, so they wanted the new face, and they took the easy way just to hire his pitching coach.
Yeah, hiring
You know?
internally is sometimes a good idea. Keep that culture, not too much of a culture shock, but sometimes when you look at a guy like Dusty Baker, the problem was he was a quote-unquote player's manager. He didn't motivate the guys enough. He was too easy on them. And then they chose Brian Price, and now that he's gone, we look back and we say, the exact same issue. Why was he the solution ever? Because clearly he didn't solve the problems that needed to be
Exactly.
solved. So it is puzzling. At the end of the day, if you want to smile, just think Nick Senzel, Hunter Green. We
Yeah.
got a bright future ahead of us, and hopefully
Top
Barry
5
Larkin
pick
behind the
this
helm.
year, and then they're probably going to get the number 1 pick next year if
Yeah.
we keep losing these games. So they're going to have a lot of good raw young talent. Jesse Winker looks really good. He
I
can
agree.
hit. That dude is a leadoff hitter for years to come in this league. And then if you have Nick Senzel as a 1 and 2, the future looks bright if the right coaches are there to develop them.
Correct.
That's the thing. The
Yeah.
future's bright, but if you don't have player development, then it's not going to work.
I mean, at this point, I would trade Billy Hamilton for a bag of seeds and a stick of deodorant.
Yeah, Billy Hamilton. I've wanted to give him a chance. He just can't hit, man.
No.
He just
Can't steal
cannot
first.
hit.
You can't steal first.
So, but yeah, we'll see what's going on with the Reds. They did fire Brian Price, so now they're going to be moving forward now.
Upward and onward. as they
That's
say.
right.
Mush
That's
mush.
right. As we will do now, we're going to transition into something else. F1, what's next?
So now we're going to talk about soccer, talk about Champions League.
This could be the longest discussion we have about soccer today.
Yeah, we got a lot of good things coming up. We got the World Cup coming up, but first we're going to talk about Player of the Year, Premier League Player of the Year, Mohamed Salah.
Baba, baby. The Egyptian
Baba
god.
Salah, man, this guy does not get the respect he deserves. He is now getting it with his awards and people recognizing how
Did he win
great.
the Players Award, like the Players' Choice for the Player of the Year?
I believe that's what it was.
Yeah.
Premier League Player of the Year. He beat Kevin De Bruyne out.
Yeah.
I feel like as well as you
Who
should.
wasn't much of like a Player of the Year candidate in the first
Yeah.
place. It was no doubt Baba the whole year.
Mohamed Salah has been so great ever since transferring from Roma to Liverpool. He's been a goal machine. He dribbles well. He passes well. He's been a spark to Liverpool. Not to mention he single-handedly won Egypt into the World Cup. I mean, how about that? We don't even know another.
I don't know
player
any other
on
players
Egypt.
on Egypt, yeah.
He single-handedly got them to the World Cup.
And meanwhile, the U.S. is watching from the stands.
Back, we got Christian Pulisic. Yeah, no.
No.
He still needs his time. He can't single-handedly carry us to the World Cup.
How old is he? Like barely older than we are?
Yeah.
20, 21?
Don't get me
22?
wrong. I'm not saying Christian Pulisic is a monster. He's a phenom.
He's the future of the U.S. soccer team.
But they're going to
Years
need more
come.
than just Christian Pulisic to win anything.
Yeah.
But yeah, Mohamed Salah single-handedly carried his team to the World Cup, and now they're in the Final Four of the Champions League.
Yeah, they play AS Roma. Right?
Yeah.
With Francisco Totti. I mean, he's carrying the team from the front
Yeah.
load for them.
Yeah.
But I mean, I still don't know how they beat Barcelona.
The Barcelona, the big comeback, Mana loss. Man, Roma, they don't give up. They got punched in the mouth in game 1, losing 3-1, or was
Yeah.
it 4-1?
It was 3-1.
It was 3-1,
And they,
then-
won, and they got 3 goals.
And
in
then
that
coming
last game.
back in the second game.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, Mohamed Salah is finally getting the recognition he deserves as one of the best players in the world.
Yeah, he has more points overall than Messi does this year.
Yeah,
That's crazy to say.
He's the leading goal scorer in the world. I think in the last 45 games, only Cristiano Ronaldo has more goals than Mohamed Salah. He's without question one of the top 5, top 10 players in the world, and he's proven that this year. You know, personally, I'm hoping for a Real Madrid Liverpool final. My 2 favorite players, so
Right.
I would not be in a lose-lose. I would be in a win-win situation either way.
I think we got Leo on kind of the soccer bandwagon after he saw that Ronaldo goal a few weeks ago.
Yeah,
Yeah.
after the bicycle kick that Cristiano scored.
I can't talk about the game with any level of knowledge. I don't completely understand, and I don't know the players or the teams at all. I try and relate each and every part of it to hockey, when in reality that's a terrible idea.
Horrible analogy.
Yeah. I actually went to my girlfriend Allie. I went to one of her games recently and sat with her parents, and her mom would try and explain something to me and be like, "Oh, like in hockey," and her mom would be like, "No, not like in hockey.
Not even close.
Not
Like,
true.
You're
wrong.
not even in the same boat.
Yeah, exactly. And so while I don't
I mean, there
understand
is
it completely,
offsides in those sports. That's
yeah,
not the only
there you
analogy.
go.
Yeah.
There you go. But all in all, I do find it entertaining to watch, and I hadn't really given it a shot up until a couple weeks ago when we all hung out and watched the game together as an amateur hour crew, and that really was exciting to watch. We talked about that bicycle goal we saw by
Hold on.
Ronaldo pretty
Before we
recently.
move on, shout out to ourselves for winning an award at the Mount this year.
Yeah!
Hey.
All right, yeah. Pat yourselves on the back, boys.
Yeah, I don't think anybody was even there to claim the award, and we just
no.
got a call out of nowhere. Hey, you guys won! Like, oh, okay.
I didn't even know we were
thanks.
nominated.
Yeah.
Hey,
I
thanks.
got a text message, right? And I'm like, "Hey, you're in the podcast, right?" And I was like, "Yeah." And she was like, "Okay, well, come to the theater right now." And I was like, "I'm in Westchester. That's about 45, 50 minutes away from the Mount for those of you listening from afar." But
Shout out to the Eastsiders.
that's right. But so she didn't respond to that. I was like, "Okay." My mom later texted me. She goes, "Hey, you won an award. Podcast won an award." And I was like, "All right, great." Was there a trophy? You know, who accepted it? I would have loved to give the speech. Unfortunately, I didn't know about it. She's like, "Oh no, they just kind of said, and nobody's here to get it."
Oh.
So shout out to MSJ or whoever's responsible for not letting us know.
Yeah,
We
I
didn't
had
even
no
get.
idea.
I had no idea.
I mean, it's not like winning a Dundee from the Office, but like we won something. It's a major award. It's for
Yeah.
Gile. Must be Italian.
I would have loved to go up there and said, first, I'd love to thank the council for representing, just like made it a huge deal, have Ryan come out of nowhere and totally Kanye me as me being T Swift. That'd be great. But yeah, like we said, we won an award. We're really pleased with it. And as we said earlier, onwards and upwards, we're going to keep doing great things. And I'm really excited for the future of this organization.
Yeah, we have a meeting this Friday to talk about the future. So
Yeah, we do. And there's going to be pizza, so I'm more than excited about it.
So we
That's
do
the
got
way
big
to be
things
there.
coming, guys. So definitely know that.
Yeah, keep your ears listening.
But yeah, shout out to Mohammed Salah. You're representing Muslim nation proud. The Islamic nation is proud of you. We're behind you. You got that Player of the Year award. Carrying Egypt. He's representing us proud right now.
He is.
all right, about the other game, Madrid and Bayern Munich.
Madrid and Bayern Munich, the two
That's
powerhouses.
gonna be the juggernaut game of the
Yeah.
league to talk about. Yeah.
Madrid has handled Bayern the past couple times they played them, so I'm confident in Real Madrid. But it's going to be a great game. Both teams are loaded, talented, well coached. This is gonna be a great.
I think it's gonna come down to like the last counterattack that someone pushes through.
It
It's
really
not
could.
gonna be like a 3-3 game or a 3-1 game. It's gonna go like 1-2, 1-1, 0-0, and then Ronaldo's gonna go on some like
Yeah.
miraculous run or something.
Whose stars are going to come to play?
Mm-hmm.
Is it going to be Bayern's defense,
games, yeah.
or is it going to be Madrid's stars on offense? Who is it going to be? They both got really good goalies. Navas and then Neuer. Hopefully Neuer plays. I mean,
Yeah,
I
I
know
haven't
he's been
seen
battling injuries,
Yeah.
but if he does play, he's the best goalie in the world.
By far.
So there's going to be it's going to be star-studded. They're playing for the finals, so all hands will be on deck.
I'm gonna be bold and say Lewandowski gets a hat trick.
Robert
Like
Lewandowski.
over both legs, Lewandowski gets 3 goals total.
Yeah, top-notch striker.
Mm-hmm.
So now we are going to move on to the NFL Draft, which is on Thursday.
Very excited.
lot
Baker
of-
Mayfield #1 overall. I'm all for it. I am on this bandwagon.
You have
I'm all
gone.
for it.
You have gone drunk.
I was on the
Somebody
Baker
get
Mayfield.
Ryan. Yeah, Baker Mayfield, get out of here. I don't think he's a bad quarterback, but #1 overall, you guys are out of your mind.
You're gonna be eating your own words when he's Adam. Or what's his face?
when he's
commissioner
Case
comes up there.
Keenum. He's
Yeah.
gonna be Case Keenum. That's what he's gonna be.
And first overall, Johnny Manziel. I mean Baker Mayfield.
Yeah.
Same player.
The Browns would be extremely stupid to draft Baker Mayfield #1.
Johnny Manziel's only comeback season, just saying.
Yeah, I mean he's gonna
God.
play in the Canadian League, for all as we know.
He's playing in his spring.
Yeah.
He's playing in his spring football league right now, where he's fumbling the ball 3
Yeah.
times a game. Give me a break.
I mean, compared to where he was, like in the dark world of drugs that he was in, he's
Yeah.
doing okay for himself.
So yeah, #1. Do you guys honestly think the Browns will take Baker Mayfield #1?
Nah, that's
No.
just
They'd be stupid to, because if they want him, that's great. I don't blame them. I personally am a big Baker Mayfield guy. But they can get him at 4. Who you would take at 1, you cannot get at 4. But what you take at 4, you can get at 1.
Is it, what rule is that? Is that the distributive property?
No, all I know is that while just explaining that, I really did feel like Stephen A. Smith. Say it with
Stay
me, boys.
off
Stay off
the
the
weed.
weed.
But yes, I think the Browns should definitely go with Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold, he has the highest ceiling of this class. He's a better
I
quarterback
mean,
than Baker
him
Mayfield
and who's
is.
the other quarterback? They were talking about like staying out of the draft if the Browns wanted to draft them. That's how bad the organization is.
Josh Allen. I don't
Yeah,
know
Josh
why
Allen.
they would be considering Josh Allen. He has all the arm strength in the world. He can throw it 70 yards, but he couldn't hit the backside of a barn because he's so inaccurate. So Josh Allen should not be considered.
For all my
number one pick.
baseball movie fans out there, Nuke Lelouch, he's the Bull Durham. Let's go on.
Yeah, so
Thank you,
personally, my top 5 mock draft, I think Sam Darnold will go #1. I think the Giants pulled the trigger on Saquon Barkley. I think
I
they're
hope,
gonna
yeah.
they're gonna push for Eli to get a couple more years. They're gonna give him that star running back who can do it all. I think #3, the Jets. Remember the Jets traded up to get to #3. They're gonna take probably Josh Rosen out of UCLA.
Most likely.
Polished quarterback, you know what you're gonna get.
Then Bradley Chubb
Good
next,
thrower.
and so on and so forth.
And then the Browns are they're gonna get their quarterback at 1. Unless the Browns trade out of that pick, they're gonna take probably Bradley Chubb, who was the best edge rusher in the draft, not even close. This is not a good class for edge rushers. It's Marcus Davenport and Bradley Chubb are the only 2 edge rushers that really have a good high ceiling. And you need edge rushers in this league. If you can't get to the quarterback in this league,
Yeah.
you're not gonna be successful. So Bradley Chubb will go to the Browns, pairing him with Myles Garrett. That looks like
That's
a duo.
terrifying.
That's
J.J.
gonna be-
Watt, Jadavian Clowney looking kind of.
Yeah.
If you think about it.
Probably
JJ
with the
stays
higher,
healthy for more than 8
with the
games a
higher
year.
ceiling.
It doesn't matter. He still puts up better numbers than anyone in half a season.
Right.
Yeah, J.J. Watt, that is comparable right there. Miles Garrett and Bradley Chubb, because Bradley Chubb is really good.
He's the real deal.
Yeah. And then, like, after that, we'll have the Colts. Will probably take Quentin Nelson because they need to find a way to protect Andrew Luck.
Somehow.
He
He's
is
hurt
their
every year.
franchise, and Quentin Nelson he's been the best prospect to come out in years. It's like the safest pick. He is just going to come in, and he's going to be a top 3, top 4 guard, and he's going to be their guard for 10, 15 years down the road. And in terms for our team, in terms for the Bengals, what I'm seeing and what I think they should do, they should draft another offensive lineman.
They have to.
They traded the 12th pick to Buffalo in exchange for their 21st pick and Cordy Glenn, which was a really good move. They got their left tackle now for the future, and now they already have Clint Bowling on the right side. Now if they draft a guard or a center, such as Billy Price from Ohio State, Will Hernandez from UTEP, Isaiah Wynn, they need to really bolster that offensive line because they have talent on offense. They have their receivers. They have Joe Mixon and Gio. They have
the talent players.
They have the workhorse. They have Tyler Eifert. They have all the pieces. Now they need to get that offensive line together. And they can go from only having one formidable offensive lineman to 3 in an offseason, which would be really good for the Bengals.
I think if this year we get like an under 500 season record, it's going to be a massive witch hunt for Andy Dalton.
Yeah.
This is his last hurrah in Cincinnati. It better be at least.
If the offensive line plays well this year, then it's on Andy Dalton.
If
the offensive line
in my
doesn't
mind,
play
it's
well-
always been on Andy Dalton.
It's on your quarterback to get you out of the trenches, whether it's right or wrong.
You guys think all of the Bengals' problems have been just on Andy
No,
Dalton.
the main
No,
problem is
no,
the
no.
line. Yeah, but when it comes
guess
down
who
to
guess who it gets pinned on?
But it's going to get pinned on
It gets
Andy Dalton.
pinned on your leader. And that has more to do with off the field than it does on the field sometimes. I don't know about it in this situation, but sometimes being the leader means you got to take the bullet, and sometimes taking the bullet doesn't just mean my bad in the media conference. Sometimes that means you're getting kicked out of town.
Yeah. I mean, this is a win league. You
Brian
got to
Price.
be able
Price.
to win games. And if the offensive line holds up this year, I believe Andy Dalton needs to get the job done because these past 2-3 years he hasn't been getting protected. His offensive coordinator Ken Zampese was garbage. Bill Lazor finally has an offseason to get his offense together.
he did well for the few games he was coaching.
He was formidable, but now he finally has a whole offseason to get things together, make his own offense, make his changes.
It's a matter of buying in.
Yeah, and now if the offensive line can hold up, then Andy Dalton needs to take control and get this team over the hump.
No, Andy Dalton's that just good enough quarterback to keep you semi-happy, but like at the end of the day, you're still left like empty-handed.
Because for Andy Dalton, he's just like a lot of other quarterbacks in the league. You have to give him the pieces. Like there's only a couple quarterbacks that can really take their team
the
over
Tom
the
Brady's,
top.
the Peyton Manning.
Tom Brady,
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers, Russell Wilson, Ben Roethlisberger, and Drew Brees. Those are the only 5 quarterbacks that could put a franchise on their back and take them to the playoffs.
Regardless of what's around them.
If you're not those guys, you're Andy Dalton. You need the pieces around you. That's why I don't like this. I think he's been underwhelming, but these Bengals fans criticize him a little bit too much because he's in the category where he needs help. There's only 5 quarterbacks.
We've had Super Bowl worthy teams, and he seems like the guy that just doesn't like get the job done. He's not the guy to make plays when you need plays to be made. Like there's guys that can make plays, like Tyrod Taylor, even him. He can make plays, like besides the playoffs, so that one game that we got them in. But like what I'm saying is, he doesn't make plays. He just does the average.
But he's a quarterback that can win you games. He can win in the playoffs. Like other than those 5 quarterbacks, you are.
He has
the
not,
Andy
though.
Dalton
You
category.
can't say he can. We haven't seen it. Did he have a major bowl win in college at TCU?
Yeah, he won the Rose Bowl.
Did he?
Yeah.
Okay, well,
He
I'm wrong.
took other than LaDainian Thompson, he was the it player from TCU. I'm not saying
When you have
Andy
LT
Dalton-
on your team, that's kind of hard to say that.
No, he wasn't. He didn't
Well,
play on
yeah.
the same team.
Yeah,
as
no, he
LaDainian
didn't.
Thompson.
Okay.
He was the it guy that took that team. Like, I'm not saying Andy Dalton's a great quarterback. I think he's good enough. I think the team has to rally around him, and also I think the coaching has been a big problem.
Well, here's the ultimate question.
He's lost Hugh Jackson. He's lost Jay Gruden, who are both head coaches now. They lost their defensive coordinator, Mike Zimmer. I don't think you could just pin it all on Andy Dalton.
I don't think you can either, but I think that there
But
is
he's the
some
quarterback.
logic to the whipping boy. Shouldn't always be 100% at fault, but he is sometimes the one who's going to have to take the responsibility, take that bullet. And as I said earlier, sometimes that's more than just saying my bad in the press
Not to
conference.
mention losing arguably the second best left tackle in Andrew Whitworth and a top 3 guard in Kevin Zeitler.
And
in one
that's
offseason.
on the organization. That's on the organization.
Yeah.
You can't blame Dalton for that.
Exactly.
I blame the Browns.
So we're gonna wrap up this Bengals conversation with a question. I'm gonna ask each of you. I'm not gonna answer it because I don't know. You're welcome to say I don't know as well. You're starting your team. there's two quarterbacks you can take to start this team. One's Joe Flacco and one's Andy Dalton.
Joe Flacco.
Joe Flacco?
Wow.
Joe Flacco.
I would take Andy Dalton.
There we go.
Really?
Yes, I would
There we
take
go.
Andy Dalton.
Really?
Tweet us.
I know Flacco has a Super Bowl. He went on a 3-game run where his defense did majority. He had a great 3-game run in the playoffs. Don't get me wrong, but his defense was the main reason. And right now, for the past 4 or 5 years, ever since he's won the Super Bowl, Andy Dalton has been a better quarterback than Joe Flacco. For the past what is that now 5-6 years? Who's been the better quarterback? You tell me. What have the Ravens done? What has Joe Flacco done?
What have the Bengals done?
I mean, look.
That's the same argument you guys you have against me with the Reds. The Reds have won a Super Bowl. Joe Flacco's won a Super Bowl. The Bengals have been average. The Cubs have been great. I mean, you can't even compare at this point.
Well, you can't compare it because look at the Cubs. Why are they so great? They're young talent. Where'd they get their young talent? Because they sucked for so long. The Reds were pretty solid for a little while. Now they suck. They're going to be great again because they're going to suck for so long. They're then going to have those great players the Cubs have now.
Yeah.
The Cubs will have such high demands for those young
The
players.
Cubs better reel
Won't
off
be able
these
to afford
World
them
Series
all.
championships, bro.
Exactly.
These players are going to leave. They don't have the money to sign Anthony Rizzo, Chris Bryant.
They're a
and all
top
these
5
guys.
market team. What do you mean they don't have the money?
But
To
even if
sign
they-
all of them?
Chris Bryant
Not
is
all
going to
of
get
them, no.
$200 million
The big
by
ones.
himself.
No, he'll get 253.
You guys better reel
And
off
Bryce
these World
Harper's getting
Series.
6.
Bryce Harper's getting $600 million.
He's having a great year, by the way. He's hitting
Yeah.
home runs.
Oh
Hit home
my
runs
gosh.
with 1.5 of the bat. I mean, come on.
I'm so excited to see this guy do something, and I'd also love it if he signed with some like Florida market, just because we expect that would be so crazy to see him sign there. But if he's asking for $400 million, maybe $500 million by the time the season's over, the way he's playing, he's going to go to a place that is going to be state income free. You know, he's not going to have to pay those
He's going to
taxes.
make all of his money. And then some.
Stanton lost like 25% of the money he was making from the Marlins to the state of New York because he was traded to the Yankees.
And right now, the state of New York doesn't like him because he's striking out all the time.
That's right. So it's interesting. I think that pretty much well does it. To wrap it all up, I am mourning the loss of my beloved Columbus Blue Jackets. They have been eliminated from the Stanley Cup playoffs. All in all, the first round is over, except for the fact that on, that would be Thursday, we are going to have Game 7, Toronto Maple Leafs, Boston Bruins. Personally, I'm pulling for the Maple Leafs just because they've sucked for so long and they comprise about 80% of the fan base in the National Hockey League. But other than that, like I said, I'll watch them and I'll love hockey because I love hockey, but I am mourning the loss of my Columbus Blue
Is it
Jackets.
hockey or hacky?
Well, it depends on where you're from, but for me, it's hockey.
I say hacky.
Hacky?
Yeah.
You know, I was an avid hacky sacker in high school.
Really?
Really?
What's your record for most volleys at a time?
Are we talking a group thing or are we talking individually?
No, solo dolo.
Oh, solo dolo? I never heard the term solo dolo before, but by myself, my record is 78.
I can't even count that high.
Really, dude? 78 comes right after 77.
Oh, that's where. Okay.
Is that where? Yeah,
Yeah.
that does goof me up sometimes too. In fact, that's why I dropped the ball. So, or hacky sack, I should say.
So, yeah, guys, we touched on a lot of topics today. We talked baseball, football, we talked basketball, and we talked soccer. So, a lot of
Talked
things
the Big
happened.
Four, yeah.
Yeah, we
Hit
hit
everything
and we
in
hit
there.
every single
And
sport.
hacky sack.
Yeah, and we got hockey in there. There was a lot of things we
Hacky sack.
covered.
Yeah.
So, hope you guys enjoy this. We are signing off for Safon Alvi, Ryan Poley, Leo Saylor. Thanks for joining us, guys.
Thank you.
Toodles.
Thanks to our producer, Ali Schmidt.